It's full time at Villa Park. It's probably a long, a long-awaited result that was going to come for Manchester United eventually. It was Aston Villa 3, Manchester United 1 in a disappointing result at Villa Park. Probably our first loss in, our first loss in quite a while. We've gone on a run of good results, but not necessarily good football, and that's why I always felt that this result was going to come. I actually said before the game, I streamed Chelsea Arsenal before I did the Villa United game. And I said that I am preparing myself for a battering today. I think we will win, but I was preparing myself for a battering. And that's why I wasn't surprised at this performance today. Our players are so fatigued. We've got no depth in the squad. And I actually think it was a good team selection by Ten Hag. But I hate to say it, Donny van de Beek, once again, useless. And I'm not even sure if he is ever going to adapt to the Premier League, because I've been a big fan of Donny over the years, and I hope he can adapt, but it ain't looking good for him because he was terrible today. And we missed Bruno with the suspension. Bruno gets the team ticking, and I think Martinez is also a really weird case today. Let's get into this though. Starting off, I actually just like talk about the game quickly a little bit more. First goal, Lindelof is jockeying way too high up the pitch. That's left Martinez, who was like a particularly quick centre-back, to try and mark whoever scored the goal. I forgot. Obviously, that was going through. Martinez isn't quick enough to stop that. The free kick, to be honest, probably Martinez's fault. That caused when Martinez gave the ball away, that caused Luke Shaw to make the foul that he had to make, and otherwise it would be a goal. And then the free kick was just absolutely absurd. De Gea's at fault for none of these goals, by the way. He was just being on all of them. And the third goal was absolutely pristine, I've got to say. And it did come from Martinez giving the ball away again. So I think Martinez was really good today, but gave the ball away a little bit, which I'm a little bit worried about. Anyway, let's get right into this. David De Gea can't get any more than a 6 from me today. I actually think De Gea was pretty good. I mean, he let goals in, obviously, but none of them were his fault. I think distribution was actually really good from De Gea. I thought he was really good at his feet. There was one instance where a player just rocketed the ball onto his foot where he had to boot it out. I thought De Gea was really good today. I'm not sure where 4.8 was coming from. Dallow's probably a 6 for me. I don't think he was bad necessarily, but I think he went missing in some areas where he would usually be whipping balls into the box and doing a really good job picking up the high press, which we didn't really play today. We tried to play a different game style that Ten Hag's been using that he refuses to change against some teams. So I think this is just an adaptation thing for Ten Hag. As much as he's a really good manager, he's still adapting to the Premier League, and we've just got to understand that. And I think he was a little bit stubborn today. Victor Lindelof, probably a 5 for Lindelof. I'm not going to try and give too low scores. Yeah, he was probably at fault a lot for the first goal. Yeah, I think he didn't really do his job as well as he could have done, but I think he was really only at fault for one goal, and I don't think he can get any lower than a 5. Martinez, I'm going to give a 6. I think a 6. Trying to think. I'm giving him a 5. I hate giving Martinez low scores, but he was at fault for 2 of the goals, and we've just got to, including the free kick, and we've just got to put our hands up and say Martinez had a bad game today. He always shows grit, he always shows fight, he always shows hunger, and he always shows pride to wear the Manchester United badge. But it doesn't mean he had a good game. So I'm really proud of Martinez on how much he just plays for the shirt. But it doesn't mean he had a good game, which he certainly didn't. Luke Shaw, for me, he gets a... He probably... Oh, I don't know. He gets a 6, Luke Shaw. Didn't score the goal, although pretty much scored the goal. Massive deflection, but it was a really good hit by Shaw. Ended up being an own goal to Villa. But I thought he was actually pretty good at left back, picked up a few balls. I think Malacia on for him was the right substitution. But yeah, I think Shaw probably gets a 6. He wasn't amazing, wasn't bad. Casemiro, I don't think he gets a 7, to be honest. I think he gets a 6, but I think he also gets the man of the match. Casemiro is really good. I mean, he just fights. He fights. He was much better on the ball today, and as he was against Sociedad, he was also much better on the ball there. Casemiro is getting better on the ball. Obviously, his grit and hunger in the midfield. Some of his tackling was absolutely obscene. I think he just went missing at times where he was needing to guard the back four, which he just really didn't do at times. But I still think he's our man of the match in a weaker game for us. Eriksen. Yeah. I'm just going to give Donny a 3. Yeah. Actually, I won't give Donny a 3. I'll give Donny a 4. Eriksen and Donny just didn't work out. And I don't think this will work out, Eriksen and Donny. I think Ten Hag is being way too stubborn with, or not stubborn, but I don't think he understands the Premier League if you're trying to play Eriksen and Donny as in a pivot. This is just never going to work. Our midfield would be... our midfield got slaughtered except for Casemiro. Eriksen and Donny had no creativity whatsoever. These two were just never going to work together, in my opinion. I think it has to be either Donny and Bruno or Eriksen and Bruno. I think Bruno is a constant with his pace and with his hunger, and then having one of these two to create, which is obviously going to be Eriksen, because Donny van de Beek today was absolutely awful. Eriksen not at the level as bad as Van de Beek, but he was still pretty bad. Van de Beek, not good at all. Rashford, he gets a 4 as well. Yeah, I'm not going to give 3s to people who didn't actually cost us anything. Although he was horrible, to be honest, probably a 3. He cost us a few goals. His creativity, and I think this is another Ten Hag thing. We've played Rashford down the right for most of the game for some reason. Only finally decided to switch him to the left at the end. He has no creativity on the right. I'm not sure if it was particularly Rashford's fault playing him in that position. It was just never a position where Rashford was going to work. And playing Garnacho and Rashford with Ronaldo was never going to work. Garnacho, I'll give him a 6, Garnacho. He didn't do anything wrong. I literally can't complain about him. 3. Yeah. It's coming to the end of Ronaldo, isn't it? I mean, getting in a fight with Mings when you're down by that much. His free kick taking is atrocious. He is so slow. His finishing's abysmal. We're getting to the end of Cristiano Ronaldo, unfortunately. And I hope he has a good performance in the World Cup, because, to be honest, I don't see much longer of him at this club. He's not performing for us anymore. Yeah, it's paying on my voice because it's horrible to see, but yeah, Ronaldo just, nah. Malacia, probably a 5. He wasn't good when he came on. He was just put under too much pressure, probably didn't adapt, and probably not an amazing game for him to come into, although it probably was the right substitution. Alanga, he got fucking battered by Martinez at 5. Martial, 5. Ten Hag, I'm going to give a 2, to be honest. This is easily the lowest score I've given Erik Ten Hag. A really stubborn game plan that was just never going to work against Aston Villa. A Van der Beek and Eriksen midfield was never going to work. I was absolutely shocked to see that Fred didn't play over Eriksen or Van der Beek. Back 4 selection was correct. Obviously, goalie selection was correct. Midfield selection was totally off. Front 3 selection was totally off. I don't think he's learned. You can't play Rashford on the right because he's got no creativity, and he can't really cut in there because he's a right footer. And I think it was really just forcing Garnacho and Ronaldo into the side, was us playing Rashford on the right. I think, especially when Martial's fit, I know we're trying to transition him back in, but I assume Martial will play on Friday back against Villa if we play Villa again on Friday in the Carabao. I assume Martial will start there. I assume guys like Maguire, Malacia, Wan-Bissaka, Dubravka, McTominay, Fred, I think they'll all start on Friday against Villa again. So yeah, I think Ten Hag, poor game plan. Team selection was, in hindsight, really off, and I'm not sure what I was thinking, that it was actually a good team selection, because Garnacho, Rashford, Ronaldo was never going to work. Van der Beek, Eriksen was never going to work. We're trying to still play this really passing direct game in a Villa defence where they're all playing a back 6. We had to try and hit them on the break or something. I'm not sure what we were doing, but yeah, Ten Hag gets a 2 from me. Submit my vote. Player of the match, yeah, Casemiro. He was my player of the match as well. He showed fight. and determination for the shirt, and also played reasonably well. Let me know about your man of the match down in the comments. I'll see you all next time for another game against Villa on Friday in the Carabao Cup, and I'll be live for 2 watch-alongs later tonight of the Champions League and Europa League draw. See you then.